Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back. Bella and I have been going longboarding a lot recently, and it's time to do some longboard maintenance. Got some new bushings, we got some new bearings, gonna be installing some spacers and some new speed rings to it. So we figured we'd take you through, show you how we clean some bearings, install some new ones, and get everything set up. So first we're gonna disassemble my board, get all that taken down so you guys can see what needs to get done there. Then we'll get Bella's wheels all cleaned up and get everything installed. Alright, now we have all that disassembled, so now I have the trucks, I have little riser pads that come with them, have all the hardware, have my wheels over here. One thing you're going to want to be careful with is when you take your wheels off, you have really hard to see, but you have these little washers right here, little speed rings. You don't want to lose them. That's why I have a new set, because I'm missing one, so when you put spacers in, and spacers are these guys right here, see if we can focus. These guys go between your bearings and the center of your wheel, allowing you to lock everything down so you don't have that little bit of wheel shake in there. Everything will be nice and solid, which I'll help out with slides. So it's gonna be my first time running them, so we'll see how that goes. So first, let's disassemble the trucks, because these bushings are pretty toast, so we'll get some new bushings in there. And we'll keep cleaning everything and disassembling it. So I was given this Sector 9 board, which is a pintail shape, by one of Bella's friends who had it for about 10 years. As far as I know, the bushings have never been taken off and the bearings have never been changed. So I cleaned them once a little while ago, and then we went through some water and stuff. So it's definitely time to upgrade that. Again, I don't have any of the spacers between the bearings, so I have a little bit of that wheel shake. And these bushings, let's see which one's the worst one. Let's see if I can show you. It might be hard to tell, but all that black stuff around the edge, some of it's dirt, but most of it's broken up bushing. Doesn't make it feel very safe. It's actually super loose. We've been going to this pump track here in Salem, and the little pump track is somewhat okay, but once you get to the bigger one, I definitely start hitting some speed wobble, which is not ideal when you're about to hit nice asphalt bank. So we definitely need to go through, get these, change it out, and see how bad they are. I got a new set, or a whole new pack of bushings from a company out in Portland. It's called Harry Sack because it comes in this little burlap sack thing. I have them laid out over here for the different sizings. I think the ones I'm going to go with are these, I think they're Red Devils, which are 93A, which is just the hardness and for the weight. I watched a lot of other videos. It was kind of confusing. So I have a diagram that I found online, which I will go ahead and put a picture up right here for you guys. And based off the weight guide that they have here, I wanted to do the 93As, which are these Red Devils. But this set also came with these green ones, which I believe are the 88A Irish Springs. We have these, which I believe are the Cherry Bomb 91As. Then I already showed you the Red Devil 93As. And then they have one more set for super stiffness, which is called Acid Drop 97As, which are these cool yellow ones. I've never tried any other longboard bushings, so this is gonna be the first time I'm actually gonna try them out. So I might switch here and there, but I'll keep you guys updated. I'll throw it down in the description whenever I hear back from the company to let you guys know if that was right or not. So let's take these apart, see how bad they are, and we'll get everything cleaned up and swapped over. All right, so here is what's called the roadside, or if your board's upside down, it's gonna be the first bushing. This is the kind that's in there. I don't know if that's how it originally looked or if it's just that old and squished out, but I have seen some bushings that look similar to this, but I don't know what kind of the style it is. Yep, and here's my bottom board side bushing on the back or the tail side. It's definitely split, definitely done. And that was my safer side. Let's get rid of those. And definitely pretty dirty. I said you can tell, well, I may not be able to, where we hit some water and some dirt. Definitely pretty toasty. These are some Gull Wing, what do they say? Gull Wing Charger trucks. Definitely get all this cleaned up. It's very dirty. And we'll see if I can even get this one off. It definitely doesn't want to come apart. Whew. Oh, man. Can't seem to get this one taken off. This is the one that's the worst of the two. So see how much longer it takes for me to break this seal. Definitely looks like it's seized on there. Okay, I reattached the truck to the board. Let's see if we can get it off like that. Okay, I need more tools. Pliers. See how that goes. Be right back again. Ta-da! It's nice to have extra tools because this finally worked. Can't tell you how satisfying it is that it's actually turning. So I just finished taking this one apart. I back off the board. We'll get everything cleaned up. New bushings. Put it all back together. I'll show you guys how to pop out some bearings, throw some new ones in there, get the wheels all cleaned up, get the spacers, speed rings installed, and then after that, hop over to Bella's wheels, get them cleaned up, and we'll be ready to rip. Alright, let's see how bad. Damn! Okay, I'm trying to get the bushing off to show you guys how bad it is, and it's like pieces are falling off. Let's see. Again, never had to change these out, but that looks pretty, let's see where we're at, pretty bad. These are, kind of explains why I wouldn't tighten anymore and why the bolt was seized on and why it kept wobbling. Whew. And same with this board side one. It is, if it wants to focus, yep, it's cracked as well, but not all the way through, but definitely toast. So since our trucks have a lot of these metal pieces, like we have these washers, everything's metal except for, there's this little piece inside. I don't know if it'll focus on, this little piece inside right here by my finger where this little nipple part of the truck sits in. Sometimes I can squeak, and I've heard of people putting little soap shavings. I don't have any issues with mine squeaking. You just want to be careful if you're gonna put like alcohol or anything like that in there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all the hardware, stuff like that, all the metal pieces in a little bowl. We're gonna throw some isopropyl alcohol in there, just to get off any dirt and grime. I'm gonna use a little rag to clean up the trucks, make everything nice and clean. Then we'll pop on these new bushings. So here's the before, and let's get it cleaned up. Now obviously, it doesn't look spotless. I mean, these are some pretty old trucks, but they definitely cleaned up very nice. Didn't show you guys, but on the back side, there's all kinds of built up dust and gunk, but now it's all nice and clean. The reason I'm using alcohol on all the metal, it evaporates quickly. You know it's gonna be clean, it helps take everything off, and just super simple and quick and easy to use. So let's get the bottoms cleaned up, get the other side going. Here's what they were looking like before. Pretty dang dirty. And here, what they're looking like now, kind of get it in some light so you guys can tell. But way cleaner. Let's finish them up and move on. Okay, everything's feeling way cleaner now, so let's slap on some new bushings and get them all pieced back together. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take these Red Devil 93A barrels, throw these on the bottom, or what would be called the board side, and I'm going to throw these cones. You probably will see a difference right there. I'm going to put these on the roadside. If it doesn't make sense when you're riding a skateboard, you're standing on the board, bushing, cone bushing, road. So we have board side, roadside. Okay, so everything I know, which isn't all that much, is once you have these on, which you got this cool, nice wood, white, and blue combo, we have the main nut, which was stuck earlier, which you guys saw me fighting to get off. And then we have the washer that sits against the bushing. What I was told is if you can freely spin that with your fingers, it's too tight. So you want to get this tight enough to where you can't spin that washer. Once you get it to where you can't spin it with the washer, you're going to give the main nut a full half turn, and that should be how tight you want your trucks. You don't want to see your bushings bulging out. You want to see them to keep their shape, and we'll go from there. I'm going to bring my tool, my skate tool, which shout out to, who wants to load, Stoked Ride Shop. That's where we got all these new parts from. So I'll take that with me to the park and just keep adjusting it as need be. But that's where I'm going to tighten them to start out with. Okay, so I can't turn that washer anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my skate tool so it's facing straight up, and I'm going to turn it to where it's facing straight down. That's going to give me the half turn. Right there. And it doesn't seem to be bulging out. Have a little bit of play, but it looks good. Have this cool red, white, and blue America look. So let's get the other one all set up and then get the board cleaned up. And now we got some brand new bushings. So since the board has been through a lot, I mean, it kind of looks a little scuffed up, but from my end I can definitely see it's dirty. I'm gonna get my rag wet with just a little bit of water and wipe off as much as I can. Nothing too much to where it's dripping, just a little damp. We'll get all the dirt wiped off. Go ahead and get these riser pads nice and rinsed off, just to make sure everything's nice and clean. And then we'll get that slapped on and pop out these bearings. Alright, so I just wiped down the bottom side of the deck with a slightly damp rag. I didn't film it, but I mean, just wet a rag and wipe it. Got a lot of dirt to come off. Just went ahead and rinsed these riser pads. I didn't want to use any alcohol. They feel pretty plasticky, so didn't want to degrade them or weaken them anyway. These Sector 9 ones have these cool little Sector 9 logo right into it. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to get these dried up. And then I'm going to pop out all the hardware, get it out of the alcohol. The alcohol is looking pretty dirty, so got some good gunk off there. So we'll get those all popped out, we'll get everything put back together and hop on over to the wheels. Ta-da! Doesn't it look nice and shiny now? Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys, if you've never had to pop out bearings, and if you don't know, bearings are, what's the focus, this little metal ring. This blue ring right here is part of my wheel, where you have a bearing on this side and a bearing on the back side. And there's a simple way, even if you don't have tools, to pop off your bearings. So what you want to do is, once your wheel is off your trucks, put that first bearing in, but put that wheel like halfway in so it's just kind of hanging off. You just push down. And voila! Out pops the bearing. Now these ones are old. I've already cleaned them before. Some of them are kind of dented in, so I'm just going to get rid of these, and this is going to be the wheels that I'm putting the brand new Reds bearings into. And the other set of wheels are the ones that we're going to clean up, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so all my bearings are out. So now, as you can see, we have this nice hole that goes all the way through. It's my finger. And what's cool, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I guess a shirt. We have these kind of, it almost looks like, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a hexagon shape that we have right there. And I'm assuming that since it's a longboard, that hexagon shape is gonna help hold our spacers, which are the silver things. The black ones are the extra speed rings I was talking about because I lost one. And the speed rings that are going to go on the outside of each of the bearings, and these are going to go between the bearings. So I'm pretty sure those little ridges in there will help hold that spacer into place, so you don't have to sit there and jiggle the wheel around. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these a quick wipe out, throw the spacers in there, pop in the new bearings, and get it all put back together. Bearings. Oh, white box. And there you guys go. Brand new set of bearings. And we got a dope little holographic sticker so you get that cool effect. And pop in that simple. So on this side of the bearings, there's kind of like a clear see-through piece of plastic where you can see the bearings. And on the other side, nope, is the red ring, hence Reds. I'm gonna put the clear side in the middle. It looks a little bit more exposed, so I'm gonna assume just protect a little bit better. So once you popped in one side, boom, drop in our spacer. Put the other one on, and it slips right in. We're rolling. 3 more times. For the last one, I'll show you guys that metal ring right there is the space that's in there kind of loose. So when you drop it in, there's just enough space it can flip sideways. Obviously, if it flips sideways, you're not putting your truck through a wall of metal. So just make sure they're all the way through. Pop that last one in. Now we're ready to go. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of these new speed rings or little washers. It's gonna go washer, wheel, one more washer at the end, and then now that we have the spacers in the middle, that's gonna keep pressure on the bearings. So when you can tighten it all the way down, you're not gonna get that little bit of wheel wobble. It's just gonna be straight and solid. So for longboards, you want that. So when you go to slide, you don't have that extra leeway. Granted, I'm not a longboard slider, but from all the research I've done, that's why you do it. So it came with the set. I figured why not try them out and see if I notice a difference on them. So just heads up, you can go ahead and crank these down and get that set up. Now we're ready to roll. Hey Bella, she still got short hair. Cool. So my board pretty much set up. So now we have new bearings, we have spacers in there. Everything's nice and clean. The bushings are brand new. It looks a little wobbly, but at least it bounces back into place. My other one, it would just kind of lean. Okay, so now we have Bella's wheels, which are some Road Riders. And pretty dirty, but she already has spacers in there. So we're gonna go and do the same method, except on her board. And her board is a different style. It's kind of had like this little drop deck feature with the cutouts for the wheels. You can tell it's way lower than mine because when we go to the pump track that we're gonna go to in a little bit, she definitely bottoms out, which is why her hand looks like a big scrape mark. So we're gonna use her trucks to go ahead and pop out her bearings. I'm gonna show you guys how to clean with an empty container and some good old orange wood citrus cleaner. I wouldn't recommend putting your bearings in alcohol because just like the reds, you don't know if there's that plastic ring. Sometimes they all look metal, but sometimes they might have that plastic ring. Put alcohol in it, it dries out, it's gonna crack and shatter more, thus allowing more dirt to get in there. Let's pop these out. I'm gonna show you guys, we're just gonna soak it in this. We're gonna use the same rag we've been using to go ahead and just clean them out. And then we're gonna use a little bit of this 3-in-1 silicone-based lubricant, basically. You can use Bones Speed Cream, which is what the reds already came pre-lubed with. But if you guys don't have access to a skate shop right now or can't order any online, this stuff's available at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, and it works great. I used them on my last set of bearings. They're still looking pretty decent. Little beat up. One has some rust on it. That's just because we rode through some water. But this stuff was working pretty well. So let's go ahead and get hers popped out and get it all cleaned up. They're all in there with their spacers, pretty dirty. So pretty simple, make sure this is on spray and we're just gonna So you're gonna let them make sure they're nice and saturated. That cleaner is gonna help break down all that dirt, grit, while they're in here soaking for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and use this rag, clean out the dirt from the wheels as best as I can, and then we'll take each part out one by one and we'll clean it, make sure it's as dry as possible, get everything put back together. But before we pop the bearings in there, we're gonna go ahead and just do a couple drops of this lubricant and make sure it gets inside the bearings, lube it up. Because when you hear that bearing sound, some people think they're like broken in. We get that nice crispy, like if you go to the skate park, you see skaters around, you'll hear that board. It has that nice sound coming from the wheels. A lot of times that means your bearings are actually dry, which means they're gonna wear out on you a lot sooner. So you wanna make sure they're nice and lubricated. It'll help them last longer. Unless you just like buying bearings. I mean, look, you get super cool stickers with them. So if you wanna buy bearings, that's cool too. But if you wanna make them last, just make sure they stay nice and lubed up. Oh yeah, this cleaner is looking very dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pop the spacers out first, just to make sure they have time to dry out because it has a tiny little hole in there and I don't think I can get my rag through that. So we'll get those out first. They have time to air dry. Then we'll take some time on the bearings and just make sure everything, all that gunk is wiped off as best as possible. Alright, so we got all the bearings wiped off with the orange cleaner. So now as everything is as dry as I can get it, basically using towels. So now we're gonna make sure and put a little bit of lubricant on each one. And I'm gonna go through on both sides because they both have like the same kind of ring protecting it. So I'm gonna make sure you get a nice amount of lubrication there. Same thing, just pop everything back in with the spacers in the middle, throw it on, and we're ready to go to the park. And you don't need much, just literally 2, 3, maybe 4 little tiny drops around just to make sure they're getting through the edge. Now you can already tell it's already soaking in, so I'm gonna do a couple more on the other side. Then you're gonna wanna wipe off the excess that's on the outside because that's just gonna go ahead and grab dirt and gunk like that and make everything you just cleaned that much dirtier. So just make sure they're nice and lubed up, and then we'll go ahead and wipe them off. Cool, while that side's soaking in, we'll just go ahead and give it a little bit and then we'll go ahead and dry them off. It's definitely easier just to get new bearings, but if you're a boarder on a budget, then this is definitely a really good way to go about it. So all I'm gonna do is the same dirty rag we've been using, find a dry spot, wipe off this excess oil, and we're ready to go. And just like that, her board is all set up. Real quick, before we head out to the park, I do want to give a couple of shout outs. One of them is to this company, Stoked Ride Shop. They're the ones that we got the skate tool from, we got the bearings, we got my new spacers and speed rings. They even sent us this super cool, do not worry, get stoked sticker. They also have this awesome thing where when you order from them, you get a card for free stickers. So it gives you a code. You go online, get some free stickers. Those guys were able to order online since all of our local board shops out here were closed. And as you can see, I needed some equipment. Also, a little bit more local to us, Stoked board shops out of California. We were able to get some bushings from a company out in Portland. Let's see. I know the brand of bushings is called Harry Sack because it comes in a furry sack. The company is called Wired. Let's see. I'll tell you on this paper right here. WiredSport.com. From what we could tell, we found the bushings on Amazon. We weren't too sure about bushings, so we wanted a set. This set only cost us like, I can check right here, there's like $16, $17. The price isn't on it, but less than $20, and we got 16 bushings, which is 4 different sets, obviously with different sizes on them. Not sizes, they're all the same size, but different weights. They go by a rating, so we have 88A, 91A, 93A, and 97As. Due to my weight in that chart that I put on the screen, I took the 93As, but we have more to play with. And also we can mix and match. If I want to go lighter, I can throw the green cones on top of the red devils that I have. So super great company there out of Portland. So if you guys want, not sponsored in any way, but check them out. We were able to get some good products from them while we're here and couldn't get to our local shop. So let's head out to the park.
All right, so we finally made it out to the pump track here in Salem. If you guys are ever in the area, look up the Salem Geer Bike Park or just Geer Park. And once you get to the baseball fields, go all the way to the back and you'll see up on the hill, there's a bunch of bike tracks. If you bring a bike, you have dirt and asphalt, but for the longboard, there's 2 asphalt tracks you can use, which are super fun. Definitely a good leg workout. We out here pumping it, taking a break in the shade on this 80-degree day. My board's doing fine. There's a weird rattle that I'm not sure what's causing it, but everything's acting fine. Bella's, I tightened her wheels down a little bit too much, so even with spacers, I guess you can't crank on it. So we loosened them up and she's rolling fine. So yeah, so we're out here shredding. We'll go ahead and show you guys some clips of the pump track and get out of here. You guys have a good one.